There are 6 specific categories of person who cannot survive your breakthrough without being threatened by it. Not because they are malicious, although some of them have been. Not because they do not care about you, although some of them have not. But because the version of you that is about to step into its assignment is not a version of you that their relationship with you was built to contain. And when a soul moves into its next phase, the relationships that were built for the previous phase either transform or they fall away. Some of them will fall away gracefully. The connection will simply become quieter, the contact less frequent, the energy between you arriving with the specific recognition that you are both moving in directions that no longer overlap. That kind is painful but clean. Others will not go quietly. They will intensify. They will become more demanding, more critical, more present in the specific moments when you are closest to crossing the threshold. This intensification is not coincidence. It is spiritual. And it is one of the reasons why so many chosen souls arrive at the edge of their breakthrough and then, inexplicably, step back. If you have been wondering lately why certain relationships feel heavier than they used to, or why specific people seem to require more of you in the exact moments you have the least to give, type 777 below. The spiritual tradition that shaped this channel teaches that a chosen soul does not walk its assignment alone, but it also teaches that the relationships it carries into the assignment matter enormously. Because every relationship in a chosen soul's life is either contributing to its frequency or drawing on it, either adding to its capacity for the work or depleting the reserves the work requires. Most chosen souls have spent their lives being extraordinarily generous with people who were consistently net withdrawals on their energy, not out of foolishness, out of the specific kind of empathy that is native to a soul carrying a chosen designation, the inability to perceive pain in another person without feeling the pull to respond to it. And that generosity, extended to the wrong people in the wrong season, has cost exactly what the breakthrough required. This transmission is not about becoming hard. It is not about abandoning love or care or the relational warmth that is among the most beautiful things a chosen soul carries. It is about understanding that love expressed without discernment, love that does not account for the cost being paid and by whom, is not serving anyone as fully as it could. The 6 people in this transmission are categories. You will recognize specific individuals in each one. And the recognition will probably produce a complicated feeling, somewhere between grief and relief, because part of you has already known for longer than you have been willing to act on it. You have always known this, even when you had no words for it. The knowing was never accidental. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. You did not arrive here by accident. The assignment was always real, even when it had no name. Nothing about what you carry was ever random. The preparation was always pointing toward this. You were built for exactly this season. The first person is the one who only shows up in your suffering. When you're doing well, building momentum, moving towards something that matters, they are absent. When you are depleted, confused, or in pain, they arrive with comfort that is real but functions, whether they intend it or not, as a kind of anchor. They are most comfortable in a version of you that needs them. Your breakthrough threatens the architecture of the relationship. The second person is the one who has appointed themselves the authority on your limits. They were there for a season when the limits were real, when you genuinely needed grounding, when the caution they carried was protective, but you have grown past the limits they are still enforcing, and now their guidance, delivered with love, sometimes with genuine concern, is holding you at a threshold you were meant to cross. They cannot see the difference between the version of you they helped survive and the version of you were built to become. The third person is the one who takes more energy than they are aware of taking. They are not parasitic in a conscious sense. They are simply in the habit of processing their life through your field, bringing their confusion to your clarity, their chaos to your stillness, their unresolved wounds to your capacity for holding them. And the cost accumulated across time is significant. This is not a relationship that can continue at its current configuration into your next season without serious adjustment. The fourth person is the one who celebrated a version of you that no longer exists. They loved who you were before the stripping seasons changed you. They are still waiting for that version to return, and their loyalty to it functions as a quiet resistance to the version you are becoming. The grief in this relationship runs in both directions, but staying in it past the point where it is truthful does not serve either of you. The fifth person is the one whose doubt has been living rent-free in your internal landscape. They said something once specifically, years ago, or repeatedly, subtly, over a long stretch, that planted a question about your capacity or your worth or your calling that has been answering that question in the negative ever since. The specific wording of what they said is probably still accessible to you. The relationship itself may have ended, but the voice continues. And it is one of the 6 people you need to consciously walk away from, even if that walk takes place entirely in your internal world. The 6th person is the one you have been trying to prove yourself to. Not overtly, in the specific, quiet way of a soul that is still carrying the unfinished business of a relationship that communicated, clearly or subtly, that you were not quite enough. Your choices have been shaped by a conversation you have been having with this person long after the conversation ended. Your momentum has been measured against a standard they set that you have never stopped running toward. One of the 6 landed with more weight than the others. You felt it when you arrived at it. The slight shift in your body, the recognition that was faster than thought, the one that made you sit for a moment before continuing because something in you needed to stay with it. These 6 people, or the specific individuals you placed inside each category, have not been absent from your recent awareness. If you are honest, at least one of them has been present in your thinking in the weeks before this transmission found you. At least one of them is connected to a pattern of behavior in yourself that you have been trying to understand. At least one of them is contributing to the heaviness you have been carrying into a season that needs you as light as possible. This is not a judgment of those people. Some of them have loved you genuinely. Some of them are in their own version of the same preparation you are in. Some of them will walk their own path into their own assignment and will, from a distance, be part of your story in a way that is true and good and real, but not from the position they currently occupy. Your breakthrough does not require their permission. It does not require their understanding. It does not even require their awareness. It requires your willingness to carry less than you have been carrying into a season that asks everything from what remains. You have always known this, even when you had no words for it. The knowing was never accidental. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. You did not arrive here by accident. The assignment was always real, even when it had no name. Nothing about what you carry was ever random. The preparation was always pointing toward this. You were built for exactly this season. The soul knows what the mind is still catching up to. What was hidden is very close to being revealed. This is not the middle. This is the threshold. The evidence of the preparation is in the survival. Walking away is not always a conversation. Sometimes it is a quiet internal decision. A decision to stop measuring your worth against their standard, to stop processing your life through their framework, to stop returning to a relationship for a kind of nourishment it has never been able to provide. Some of these walks take place entirely within you, without any external event to mark the departure. Others will require an actual boundary, a conversation, an acknowledgement that the relationship cannot continue at its current frequency without cost to the work you were built to do. Those conversations are some of the hardest available to a human being. They are also some of the most spiritually precise. What you are being asked to do in this season is not to become cold or closed or unwilling to love. You are being asked to love in a direction that includes yourself, to extend to your own assignment the same generosity you have extended to people who could not receive it without diminishing it, to walk into the breakthrough with the relationships that can survive it, that want it for you, that are built to hold the version of you that is arriving, and to release, with as much grace as you can manage, the ones that cannot. The breakthrough you are approaching in 2026 is not something that arrives to the version of you currently standing here. It arrives to a version that has made these walks, that has put down what it was never meant to carry forever, that is traveling light enough to receive what is coming. You have always known this, even when you had no words for it. The knowing was never accidental. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. The 6 people you are being asked to walk away from were part of your preparation. In some cases, they were the preparation. The difficulty of those relationships produced something in you that nothing easier could have produced. The grief of the ones that ended produced a clarity about what you actually need that comfort could not have taught you. The ones who doubted you revealed something about your own relationship with your calling that their support would have left invisible. They served their season, and walking away from them, or from the version of the relationship that has exhausted its purpose, is not ingratitude. It is not coldness. It is the spiritual maturity of a soul that has learned to honor what something gave by being honest about what it can no longer give. In 2026, the chosen souls who are approaching their breakthrough are being called to travel light, to carry into the next season only what the next season is designed to hold, to release with love and clarity. The relationships that were built for a version of themselves, they are no longer living inside. Type 777 below if one of the 6 people in this transmission named someone in your life you have already been sensing you need to release. Let the next soul reading these words know that the walk away is not a betrayal, it is the arrival.